Everyone in the reselling community is talking about AI listing tools, or at least it seems that way some days. Look, I was a passive, maybe even a skeptical participant in that conversation until 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, I decided to test one of the leading AI listing tools. Fast forward to today, I'm all in. Every single item that I've listed over the past 10 days on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari has been using Nifty AI, which you might be familiar with Nifty AI from their Crosslisting tool. We've used it for the last 15 months for our business. Once we switched to it, there was no looking back to the previous Crosslisters we used. So we decided to test that tool first, and we fell in love. Maybe you're not ready for AI listing in your business yet. That's okay. Maybe you're not even ready for the conversation. This video could still be for you, because what we're going to do is we're going to show you our entire revised listing process. And that's going to be using AI. So we're going to show you the photos that we take. Then we're going to go into measurements. Then you're going to get a demo of Nifty AI. I'm going to show you a tutorial of exactly how it works. And then I'm going to show you how we store items while we wait for them to sell. Hopefully we don't have to wait too long for them to sell. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Chris. I've been selling on eBay and other platforms for the past 7 years now, and I've been creating content about this reselling business for the past 5 years on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube. My wife and I run this business out of our 2-bedroom home. This is actually the 2nd bedroom of our home, which is the headquarters, the operations center of it all. We currently have about 1,500 items listed on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari, and some other items that we have listed on Amazon as well. And we've sold well over 10,000 items on all those platforms over the years. Today we're going to list 3 very common items in our eBay store: a pair of jeans, here is a corduroy blazer, and right there is a Carhartt flannel up on the wall. We don't use fancy photo equipment. I just use an iPhone 13, and one thing I'll point out is I always take my product photos in square mode. That's going to work best for those selling platforms. And you'll see right obviously here we have these box lights. These do a great job of getting just nice, even, consistent light across your items so that your buyer can tell exactly what the colors, the pattern, and all that is. And it's got to look clean and professional without shadows. So we highly recommend photo lights like this. If you're looking to upgrade your sales, the best thing you can do is upgrade your photos. The easiest way to upgrade your photos is to upgrade your lighting. It's super simple. These lights are actually linked down below in the description of this video. We've had the same exact kit now since 2020, so going on 5 years. All I've had to do is change one of these bulbs over the years. So we're going to jump right in. A shirt, I'm going to take 4 photos. I'm going to take a photo of the front of the item. I'm going to take a photo of the back of the item, and then we're going to take the shoulder tag that shows the size and the brand, and then we're going to take the tag on the inside that shows us the materials. All 3 of these items I picked up yesterday at the thrift store. This pair of jeans and that shirt cost me $5 a piece. The blazer cost $7 a piece. Right now we're going to list these cinch jeans. With the jeans, we're going to take the same photos we did with the shirt. We're going to take the front, we're going to take the back, we're going to take photos of any of the tags. Sometimes there's more tags on jeans. And then we're going to take close-up photos of any spots that even just have like a little bit of wear or fading, just so our customer knows exactly what they're getting into with these jeans. With blazers, I like to take a couple of additional photos because I like to show the inside liner of the jacket. So I'm going to use a couple of these little easel clips that can hold open the jacket while I take these photos of the inside. So my cover photo will actually be this one that I'm about to do here, with one flap open so that you can see the liner pattern or color. You could also see the brand name right there. On blazers, the size and material tag is often tucked into one of these pockets, so we would definitely want to make sure we get a photo of that. So prior to switching over to Nifty AI for listing, I actually didn't take photos of measurements. What we would do is we would measure items right here on this desk. There's a ruler that you can see that's taped right onto the desk. So we'd take measurements, we would note it in our inventory spreadsheet, and then when we listed those items, we would just put the measurements there in the description of the item. But now we take the photos, we use this as an opportunity to find a way to kind of speed up our process. So what we do here is we take these close-up photos, and I just have enough in the photo so somebody can realize sort of where on the shirt I'm taking that close-up photo of the measurement. So that first one is the pit-to-pit measurement. We'll do a total of 3 measurements here. Our second one is going to be our length measurement. I'm going to do that in the front, and usually the back, if anything, is going to be longer than the front. So what this will do is it'll let somebody know both the front and the back measurement. In this case, this Carhartt flannel is exactly the same front and back. So I'm going to make sure that I have like at least one button on this measurement so somebody can see kind of what the photo is or imagine it, because they can see that button there at the bottom. And then the third measurement is going to be the sleeve. There's different ways to do the sleeve. We've always done the sleeve from the bottom of the shoulder seam right below the tag there to the end of the sleeve there. That's consistent with how people measure men's dress shirts. So if you see a dress shirt that's size 17-35, the 17 is the neck measurement, and then that 35 is the sleeve measurement, measured exactly how we're doing it right here. And this shirt here is going to measure 34 inches. So with jeans, we take a total of 5 measurements on the jeans. We actually at one point in time used to do as many as 7 jeans measurements, but we have since cut that down to 5. So this first one is just going to be across the waist right here, just basically confirming the waist size for the customer. The second one is going to be the inseam. So that's going to be measuring from this seam right here in the crotch all the way down to the bottom of the pants. So these pants here measure 35 inches in inseam, which is actually, that's a tall person right there. The next measurement we're going to do is across the knee. So we're going to go ahead and take that. Then we're going to do the leg opening, so across the leg opening. This one will be about 8.5. And then the final measurement we do is called the front rise. So that will be from the very top of the jeans here to this groin seam right there, and that's called the front rise. On blazers, we also do 5 measurements. I like to keep the blazers on the hanger. It just kind of makes them a little bit easier to move around here on the table. Nice little pro tip, I guess. So always have the blazer buttoned for this. And what I'm going to do first is a pit-to-pit measurement. That's the same thing as a shirt. Second measurement I do is across the shoulders. So there's a shoulder seam on the top of each shoulder, and right across that. This one is 21. Next, I do a sleeve length measurement. This one we do from that same top shoulder seam. We don't do it like we did on the shirts. It's very customary on blazers and suits to measure it from the top of the shoulder seam down to the hem. So that's what we'll do too. We'll kind of match what industry does. This one is 26.5. Next is the length, and we do the length down the back. So starting from the bottom of the shoulder seam all the way down to the hem. In this case, this jacket is 32 inches. And our final measurement is on the front of the jacket. It is called the waist. And this is going to be on a 2-button jacket. This is going to be right across the top button. And if this was a 3-button jacket, we would do this off the middle button. And in this case, it is 25.5. All right, so now that our photos are done and our measurements are done, we can play with our fancy new toys. So here we are in Nifty right here. This is my inventory dashboard, and you can see on the screen right here, these are items that I listed earlier today using the AI listing tool. So we're gonna dig right into this. I just airdropped photos over from my iPhone over to my MacBook. Nice, quick, simple process. I like listing from the desktop, but you can do all of this on Nifty on your mobile device too, and it all works the same. It looks exactly the same. I've just always listed from my desktop. That's a personal preference. I just feel like I'm faster, but I know other people swear by the phone. You can use Nifty for either. This is a good time to mention to you too that I included a free trial link down below in the description of this video for Nifty, so you can try Nifty and see if it works for your business for a full 7 days. And if you like the trial and you decide to sign up, that link will also get you 15% off your first month. Nice little discount there. And remember, you can use Nifty just for cross listing. You don't have to use it for the AI listing tools, or you can use it for the AI listing tools and not use it for cross listing. Totally up to you. All right, let's dig into this. Let's get this first listing going. So I'm going to use the bulk generate tool up there on the top right. I can also use add item. I like using bulk generate because it allows me to leave items in drafts, so I can publish them today or I can publish them tomorrow. And it's literally got to give us a step-by-step process here on the top of the screen. So it says generate listings using AI. Number 1, add up to 24 photos in one video. Number 2, choose up to 5 photos that showcase the most important details of your item. That's telling Nifty that these are the 5 photos that I want you to use to generate this listing. And then number 3 is specify where you want to list the item, and optionally the department and the shipping preset. So we'll do all of those things. I'm going to first start by doing step 1, which is dropping these photos right here into Nifty. So while that's loading up, it's already done loading up. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 things. Well, I'm going to move this up here for now. I'm going to click men because this is a men's shirt, and I'm going to click a shipping preset. I'm going to choose pants and sweaters for $8.95. I know this flannel is going to weigh in at over a pound, so that's what I'm going to choose, is the $8.95 shipping. So now I'm going to go ahead and rearrange these photos. This is a matter of preference. This is how I do mine, and that's good. Next, this is really neat. Check this out. So I used to use another tool for removing the background, but now I can do that in Nifty right here. So I'm going to click this remove background button right there, and it's going to go ahead and get rid of all those distracting lines that are my closet doors and stuff behind it. So what I'm going to do on this, my cover photo, this is a preference. I like having a nice zoomed in shot of the, so people can see the pattern and they can see the logo there on the front of the shirt. So we're going to zoom this in nicely. I'm going to recenter that, and I want them to be able to see that this is a long sleeve shirt, and I want them to be able to see the pattern. So I like to leave like a a longer section of the sleeve right down there. You can see the Carhartt logo. Good to go. I'm going to save that photo, and that's going to serve right there as my cover photo. We're good to go there. Step 2 is to choose the 5 photos that I want to showcase. So you can see this little icon here that's like blue. It looks like magic. The ones that it's going to use to develop the listing are the ones that are highlighted right there. And I think those are good. It's the front, the back, and it's got the materials tag right there. So I'm going to go ahead and use those. And I'm going to click generate one item. And what it's doing now is it's using those photos to create this listing. We can see it's generation in progress. Here's some other drafts, by the way, that are down below that I haven't yet published, but that I did create using this AI listing tool. I'll probably publish some of those tomorrow morning. So we can see the AI generation is done. So let's go ahead and click on the listing it created for us. So as we scroll down, you're going to see here where my cursor is, that's the item title. It generated a description over here, and it put all kinds of like item details down below, including some keywords in that description too. So super detailed, like a whole bunch of SEO in there. Look at these keywords: flannel, plaid, button up, long sleeve, Carhartt shirt, medium, relaxed fit, workwear, casual shirt, outdoor shirt. Got a lot of stuff in there. It figured out the category is correct. It's men's shirts, casual button downs, great. And our item title reads Carhartt flannel shirt, relaxed fit, plaid, button up, long sleeve, men's medium. So it got it all in there. It's even got all kinds of details like long sleeve, cotton. Yeah, it read like the materials tag and everything. Pretty interesting how that all works. So it's got the condition defaulted to excellent, great. I'm gonna set the price on this as $22.99. I'm gonna enter the SKU as a bin that's right behind me here. This bin is E1, so that is the bin that we're gonna put that shirt in. So when this item sells, I'll know exactly where in inventory it is. So as we scroll down, you can see it filled out all kinds of item titles here, or item specifics. So it's got colors of blue and gray, it's got flannel shirt, workwear, all that stuff. So as we scroll down, now it's going to show us each of the platforms that I list on. It's going to show me the listing and what will be included. So first up is Poshmark, and we can see everything looks good. It's got the right category, it's got the brand, it's got the size medium, perfect. And it's got the price loaded $22.99. Now on Poshmark, you can't do 99s or you can't do 22.50s. It has to be a full number, an even number. So it can either be 22 or 23. In this case, $22.99. Nifty will automatically round that up to 23 when it lists it on Poshmark. So our Poshmark listing looks good. We're going to scroll down to eBay, just confirm everything looks right. It's got the right category, brand, size, long sleeve, men's, perfect. Shipping's already loaded in there with all the details from my presets, which I set up. It's got all kinds of item specifics loaded up. Those all look good. We're just going to move on down to Mercari. And same thing, we're going to confirm the category is right, the brand is right, size is right. It's got the shipping details all loaded in there. So we should be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and list this item. That was it. Easy. I didn't have to make any edits whatsoever. I didn't have to add measurements in there because I know that the measurements are already in the photos right there. So super easy process. Even with me talking to you, that was nice and quick. So we're going to go ahead and hit bulk generate again. I'm going to load up our next round of photos, which will be our cinch jeans. Jeans are always interesting, right? Because there's so many different fits. So we'll see what Nifty comes up with on these cinch jeans. So I'm going to drop these photos in there. Boom. And while that loads up, I'm going to choose that these are men's. I'm also going to choose the shipping preset of $8.95, which is what I use for jeans. And cool. So next I'm going to rearrange the photos in the way that I like to have them. Okay. And this is just kind of a matter of preference. I don't know that there's any magic to this, but that's what we're going to do. And now I'm going to select the 5 photos that I want Nifty to use to generate the listing. So I'm going to choose this one for sure because it's got the materials. I'm going to choose the front. I am going to choose, yeah, I think that's all I need. I need the front. I'll put the back in there too. Why not the back? And I'll do 5. Why not? I'll do that one too. I figure the more information, the better. So we're going to go ahead and generate. Oh, I didn't do the. You caught me. Thank you for reminding me that I didn't do the white background on this one. So I'm going to edit this photo. I'm going to remove the background on this. We want that cover photo to be nice and clean when somebody's scrolling through on any of these platforms, that they're going to click on the nice professional looking photo right there that's not distracting and all that stuff. So that's done. Save. I got it. And we're going to generate one item. So that generation is in progress. It usually only takes a few seconds here. So that's happening. It's happening. And there it is. So we're going to go ahead and click on this and see what it came up with. I feel like jeans are a little bit trickier. So for the item title, it has cinch jeans, relaxed fit, straight leg, denim, blue wash, men's 32 by 36. Okay. And I believe this is 32 by 36 on this photo. It is. I like it. So we can see it's got a nice little blurb about these cinch jeans. It's got all kinds of item specifics in there and all those keywords, which is great, including cowboy jeans, 5 pocket and all that. Now the one thing I want to look at is these might be boot cut. I'm curious what if this tag gives me any kind of hints. It doesn't. But what I can do is I can Google really quickly this style number, MB980. So this is a little trick that I'll use sometimes too. So MB980, and then just put in cinch and see what the internet comes up with. So they call these the silver label performance stretch mid-rise slim fit straight leg jeans. So there's some item specifics right there that I actually want to include in my item title, because this is what the people who are selling these things brand new with tags are using. So I want to lure in buyers who are looking at brand new with tags cinch jeans for $62.97. I want to lure them in to buy my used ones for half that price. So I'm going to use some of these same exact item specifics. Even though Nifty did a pretty good job here, I think this is where the human element can come in and do an even better job. So I'm going to remove some words. Like I can get rid of the word size. I feel comfortable with that. I can get rid of wash, and I can feel comfortable with that. I got relax. I'm going to use that silver tab, and the word performance was in all those listings. Oh, that's going to be too many characters. We got to limit to 80. So I'm going to go cinch jeans, silver tab. Was it silver tab or silver label? Silver label, my bad. Cinch jeans, silver label, performance relaxed, straight leg, denim blue, men's 32 by 36. I think we got enough in there. One thing I forgot to do on the last listing is I set some shortcut keys in my keyboard so that I can type in the words *AI, and it puts in excellent used condition, no rip, stains, or pulls, and then has measurements in photos. So I want to hammer down the point to the buyer that these are in excellent used conditions and that they can look at the photos as well for those measurements. So I'm going to price these jeans at $27.99. I'm going to use that same SKU as I did for the last one, so that's going to go into bin E1. Is that right? E1. And I'm just going to scroll down through and see if it's got this all right. So I'm going to change it from relaxed to straight. I feel like that's a better category for these. I think either one would work, but I'm going to choose the straight. It's got the waist of 32. It's got the category right, the size right. So we're just moving and grooving. I'm just confirming a few little things here. Nifty has done a great job. Change this one to straight leg 2. Cool. All my shipping presets are correct, so this thing's ready to jam. So I'm going to go ahead and list this item. Not bad. And again, what's happening now is it's not just listing it to eBay, it's listing it to eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. So it eliminates that whole extra step. What I used to do is I used to list directly to eBay and then use Nifty to cross-list all my items onto Mercari and Poshmark. But now I don't have to take that next step because I'm drafting it right here in Nifty with that one click of the button at the bottom of the screen. It submits the listing to all 3 of these platforms, Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay. So that for me has been a big time saver. Like, I'm not cross-listing at all. So there's that whole extra step that I'm just not having to take, which is great. It's also a whole lot less typing because, as you can see, Nifty is typing the item title and that big long description loaded up with all those keywords. So big time saver. Some of the magic too that they say, the idea that Nifty with the AI can use better keywords maybe than I can, and can also order those keywords in a way that the platforms that maximizes like the search results on those platforms too. That's the theory behind this. We'll see if I tend to just sell things faster as a result of that or not. But the bottom line is, for me, the big selling point is the time saver part of this too. If it happens to sell items for me quicker on top of that, then that's phenomenal. So let's go ahead and do our last item. Our last item is this saddlebred corduroy blazer. I actually just shipped one of these out this morning. It sold on eBay for $49.99 plus $9.95 shipping. So I'm pretty happy with that. And literally, I got that sale notification while I was at a store and had another saddlebred in my cart. This saddlebred was in my cart. So I love when that happens, right? Out with the old, in with the new. So I'm going to go ahead and hit bulk generate again. We're going to load in these photos here from the blazer. Boom, those are rolling in. While that's happening, I'm going to choose the men's department, and I'm going to choose the shipping preset for blazers and shoes, which I do for $9.95. Those photos are done. Let's go put them in order. First, let's before I forget, let's do the background tool the remove background tool on this one here on our cover photo. Remove the background. I'm going to resize this a little bit too so it fills up. I don't want to have like this wasted space around the outside. So let's zoom in. All right, everything looks good there. There's one other thing I like to do with blazers because a lot of people don't know exactly how the measurements go on blazers. So I actually include a photo that kind of charts out my measurements. So I'm going to drop that right in there. And I'm going to put this right in front of all these measurements here, and I'm going to show you a zoom in. So this shows the 5 different measurements that I included right there, and it says measurements in next photo. So if anybody, people don't buy blazers as often or frequently as they buy shirts or jeans, right? So they might not be sure like what are the exact measurements. So I put that right in there so they know exactly what's following with those next few photos. I need to choose which photos I want Nifty to focus on. I'm actually going to zoom in on this one a little bit. Perfect. All right, so we're going to use that one, that one, that one, that one. All right, so we're going to use those 4 photos. Nifty's going to do the magic right now. That's generating. Again, good time to remind you, if you want to try Nifty for free, there's a link down below in the description of this video. I mean, you might be just checking it out for the AI listing tool. You might be checking it out just to Crosslist if you're already selling on, like, say, one platform like eBay or Poshmark, and you'd like to expand your audience, your potential buyers, by listing on onto a second or a third platform. Highly recommend it. We've been cross-listing with our business since 2021, so 4 years now. So that's done. That's AI generated. Let's take a look at what Nifty did here. So item title, I love it. It picks up that it's corduroy. It's pretty cool. You'd think that that would be kind of a little tricky thing, but it picks it up. So saddlebred corduroy blazer, brown cotton sport coat jacket, men's size 50R. Beautiful. It reads the tag and everything. It's got a nice description right there. I'm going to use this little shortcut key here. So I'm reminding people that this is excellent use condition, no rip stains or pulls. The measurements are in the photos. And it's got all these keywords, which is a beautiful thing. One thing I do get questions about from time to time is how many vents these jackets have. So the back of a blazer or a sport coat can either have 1 or 2 vents, and this one is a single vent. So I'm just going to add that. I don't know if Nifty picks that up. So vent, single vent. So I'm going to add that in there, and if it doesn't tell the person how many buttons, I'm going to do that too. I don't think it does, so I'm going to do, I'm just going to write 2 button front, because, you know, there's the most common styles are 2 or 3 buttons, and so it puts me over 1,000 characters by what I just added, so I'm going to get rid of some stuff here that I think I can do without. And then up here there's a whole bunch of words that I probably don't use. With its versatile brown hue and refined texture, I'm just going to delete that sentence, and that should bring us under 1,000. We're good to go. And I added a couple little details which I think the buyer would want to know: the 2 button front and that single rear vent. Let's put single rear vent so they know. I'm going to price this just like I priced the last one, $49.99. If it sold yesterday, it can sell today. I'm going to use the SKU J5. I have a bin blazer that I'm filling up out in the garage right now, so we'll put J5 for that one, and we're just going to double check that it got everything. Yep, sports coats, blazers, 50R, good. This one, it's interesting, on eBay it grabbed the wrong category, so this is where sometimes, you know, you still need to have a human touch to it. So it put it in the jackets category, like outerwear jackets, and not into suit and suit separate. So made that quick change. I do catch it doing that from time to time. The blazers sometimes catch it. So I'm going to bump up the weight on that to 2 pounds, 15 ounces. I'm going to copy that right down to Mercari. I love it. It did get the blazers and sport coats correct for Mercari. The size is correct. And I just got to choose the shipping label. We're good. I'm going to list this item. So 3 common items that we list in our store, all listed fairly quickly. You can see how it works. We saw that Nifty, although really good tool, still has some imperfections. I had to go and make a couple of updates. You know, I really wish that it would. Sometimes it does catch things like single rear vent and 2 button or 3 button front. It has done that on other blazers, but sometimes it doesn't, and I don't understand, you know, like what's programmed into why it would recognize it and include it sometimes and not other times. I'm just not sure. But I will be giving some of this feedback to Nifty, because obviously this being a newer tool, there's time for them to train the tool, or update the tool and make it even better. So there are some hiccups along the way. You do have to pay attention. It still takes a human touch at this point. But all things being equal, it saves me time on my listings, which means one of 2 things, or both. I either have more time to myself because I got my listings done sooner, or I have more time to source and list more items and therefore make more money. So, and that's really what this is all about, is growing your business, but also, finding opportunities to spend more time with your family and more time doing the things that you enjoy too. And that's the beauty of having tools like AI and like cross listing that can help you boost your sales, but also save you time. So, And another little plug for Nifty, you already know I'm a big fan of Nifty. I've been using it for 15 months for my cross listing. I haven't mentioned the automation tools. So every single day I get extra sales by using Nifty's automation tools. A few of the tools that I'm referring to are number one, it delists and relists stale items every single day. So by doing that, you show up higher in search results on platforms. On Poshmark specifically, it shares items in my closet 6,000 times per day. Anytime you share an item in your closet on Poshmark, you immediately go right to the top of the search results. So that's a beautiful thing. I don't know how many extra sales that gets me, but I imagine it gets me a lot of extra sales. There's just no way to really track that. And then the third thing, and maybe my favorite kind of fancy tool, is the auto offers that Nifty sends out on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari for me. Anytime a buyer likes an item on Poshmark or Mercari, or anytime a buyer watches an item on eBay, 10 minutes later, Nifty automatically sends that buyer a 10% off offer, which is amazing. You can set that up so it doesn't do it until 20 minutes, and you can do it 15% off or 12% off or 8% off, whichever you want, but I have it programmed to wait 10 minutes and send a 10% off offer. Every single day that results in extra sales because buyers are accepting those offers, and cha-ching, and it's a beautiful thing. Oftentimes when I'm sleeping or when I'm out sourcing or otherwise distracted, maybe hiking, and I get these offer sales that happen and I had nothing to do with them. It's a beautiful thing. Even just today, I shipped out 4 sales that were from automatic offers on Poshmark and eBay sent by Nifty. So that tool in and of itself pays for my subscription for Nifty every month, and that tool itself usually pays for the whole subscription in extra profits in just like a day or two every month. So it's incredible. I'm a big fan of the cross-listing and automation tools that Nifty's offered for over a year now. And now just having this bonus of this AI listing tool that can save me some additional time is just really, really exciting to me. Now, the big question that you might be asking right now, although I like Nifty for cross-listing automation and AI listing for my business, you might be asking yourself, is it right for your business? And the reality is I don't know. But I will say this. What I've been recommending to people is if you have 150 active listings on any one single platform and you've already sold and shipped 150 or more items on that platform, you might be ready to consider a tool like Nifty for AI listing. I really do think that it's important for sellers to get some experience selling first, because you need to know what works in an item title and what works in an item description, and you're only going to get that from buying items, listing them yourselves on eBay and Poshmark or wherever, and then the experience of getting offers, accepting offers, and shipping those sales out. We saw firsthand how Nifty did make some mistakes that I went in and edited. It also omitted some things that I thought were important, but had I never sold a bunch of items on eBay and Poshmark previously, I might not have known that, well, it's probably important for me to write that this is a 2-button front on that blazer. I might not have known that a lot of people will send me questions if I don't mention that it is a single or double rear vent on that blazer too. I probably wouldn't have known how to go and Google the style number for that pair of cinch jeans and found those keywords that are probably going to help that pair of jeans sell faster. So I want you to have those experiences first before you just have automation listing things for you. So if you're a new seller, you have maybe 50 items listed and you've sold 20 items, I don't think it's time for AI listing yet. And it's probably not time for cross-listing yet. You probably still have some fundamentals to get down. But once you hit 150 active listings and 150 items that you've sold and shipped, I think it might be time for you to consider a tool like this and see how it can work for your business. All right, so here on the screen, you can see an overview of the pricing. The most basic of all tools is just the automation tool. So I talked about it automatically sending offers and automatically sharing items on Poshmark. You can get that for $35 a month. So that's no cross-listing tools, no AI listing tools. That's just the automation tools that Nifty offers. That's something you might consider. The second plan is over here. This is the cross-listing plan. So this is just if you get cross-listing. It doesn't have any automation, but it does allow you to cross-list items quickly onto other platforms. So that's $39.99. That'll give you 750 listing credits in a month and 100 smart credits per month. It's going to give you all the analytics so you can keep track of your sales and expenses and all kinds of trends. It's going to give you that automatic sale detection too. So when an item sells on eBay, it'll go in and it will automatically remove those listings from Poshmark, Mercari, and if you use Depop and in Etsy, it'll do the same thing as well. I just don't happen to use those two platforms. And it will give you this priority email support. The email support is great. So that's the $39.99. That's the cross-listing only plan. And then you probably get what this middle plan is. It's called Automation plus Cross-Listing. So it's all the things that I talked about in the automation plan, plus all the things in the cross-listing plan built into one. This is the plan that I have. It gives you those same 750 credits per month, the inventory manager, all the automation tools. It gives you another opportunity here too to bump it up to $89.99 a month, so an extra $20 a month if you need additional listing credits or if you need additional smart credits. And we'll talk a little bit about the smart credits and listing credits here in a second. So let's talk about listing credits and smart credits. What are they and how are those two things different from one another? So here we are on my inventory management page. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. I'm going to find an old listing that I listed before I was using the AI listing tool. So up to just a couple weeks ago, that's how I listed all of my items. So I'm going to just scroll back. Okay, great. So here's an awesome piece right here. So I listed this item directly to eBay. I used Nifty to cross-list that item to Poshmark. So the process of me listing that item onto Poshmark using Nifty, that used one listing credit, but it didn't use any smart credits because I didn't use the AI listing tool and I didn't use the background removal tool. So I didn't use any smart credits, but I used one listing credit. Now, if I go now and also cross-list this item to Mercari, that will use an additional listing credit. So it doesn't matter how many items I list, it matters how many platforms I cross them to. So if I cross every one of my items from eBay to Poshmark and Mercari, that's 2 listing credits every time that I do a cross-listing process. Or it's 1 if I cross-list it just from eBay to Poshmark. Now, the smart credits are a little bit different. I use a smart credit anytime I'd hit that generate button on that listing tool. So when we go into that bulk generate screen right here, every time I hit this generate one item on the bottom right hand corner that you can see there, it's kind of grayed out now because there's no photos there, but you can see how it has that little like lightning bolt 1. That's a smart credit. So I use a smart credit every time I use that AI listing tool, and then I'm listing it to eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. So that's using 3 listing credits. So every time I listed something today, those 3 items, I use 3 listing credits. And I actually used 2 smart credits because I also used the background removal tool. Every time I use the background removal tool, that uses a smart credit. So you can run out of your smart credits pretty quickly because you get 100 of them a month in the base plan, and you get 750 listing credits. So you're just going to have to do the math and figure out how many items do you list every single month, and then how much are you going to invest also in using this AI cross-listing tool. And if we go back to the pricing structure, if you do use more than 100 of those smart credits a month, you can just bump up to this bundle pro. It's an extra $20 a month, and it gives you all the way up to 500 smart credits. So that would allow me to do 250 listings where I used both the AI listing tool and the background remover, right? So I could do 250 times 2 smart credits, and that would allow me, and that would use my 500 smart credits. You can also purchase additional smart credits. I believe it's $5 for each additional 200 smart credits. So if you needed to list more than 250 items using the AI listing tool and the background remover, you could just purchase those by $5 for every 200 extra. So in closing, I can't say for sure if it's time for you to build AI listing into your business. But if you've hit those 2 thresholds, that 150 active listings and 150 items that you've sold and shipped, I do think that you could consider it. Even watching this demo, you might say, well, AI sounds intimidating, or I'm not really sure, he moved really fast through that thing. We picked it up really, really quickly over here. In just a matter of like a couple of days, we had a system built around our new AI listing tool. I'm a big fan of the tool. It does have its imperfections. I have faith in Nifty that they will continue to make updates to this, just like they have with their cross-listing tool and their automation tool. Thanks for your time and attention today. I hope it was helpful. If you have further questions, feel free to drop those down below in the comments. I will get back to those. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, I'd love to have you on board. We also create reselling content every single day on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram, and here on YouTube. So if you're not following us on all those platforms, you might give us a follow. If you haven't hit the like button on this video, that helps us out too. We'll see you next time. Peace.